So we're going to be looking at Tamilakam as our kingdom analysis for this week, and we are going to be playing as Pandva, this realm here, Pandva, which obviously is a part of the kingdom of Tamilakam, which obviously we'll probably want to form at some point, and then the enormous empire of the Deccan Empire, with the huge bottom southern chunk of the subcontinent of India. So the idea of the kingdom analysis is that we're really kind of analysing the region, we're thinking about what's going on there as preparation for a playthrough, which will be the first part of which will be published tomorrow. So if we're going to be starting as this character here, we might actually be doing a custom leader, just to give himself a little bit of a head start. So basically, he owns a chunk of the kingdom that we're hoping to form. We can see we got Madurai here, Karavur, Uraya, and we've also got the duchy title. So we are the Duke of Panduraj, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 county titles. So quite a significant feudal leader in this region. So the thing to think about is, who are we up against? Okay, so we're wanting to form the whole of the kingdom, so we're going to need to attack these people at some point, or find some way of beginning to take over these areas, vassalising them, whatever. And what we can see is that this chap here has a very significant military. He has 300 men at arms, really, the pikes, as well as onagers, 6 shorvears, and some various levies. And you compare that to our own army, and it's very similar. In actual fact, we have slightly more men at arms, and we do have a slightly larger army, so we should be able to win. But what I think is even more significant is that we know what he has, and we can start building guys in order, building up our army military to make sure that when we attack, we're going to be able to attack him very successfully. We're going to need a really good Tondo. Okay, so this is my, what's it normally called? I don't even know what it's normally called. My cleric, I suppose, my religious counsellor. He's not brilliant, but we've got a culture where we can change it. So it might be that we can perhaps find somebody else to fit into that position, and we can start making claims on this territory. I don't have any claims at the moment. So in time we can take him over. Over here, similar. This time's 500 pikes, is slightly stronger. So it's going to take a lot of time to gradually build up this kingdom, to build up its strength, to take over places one by one. But I think absolutely I would be working towards taking these counties one by one, probably militarily, until I was able to start trying to vassalise people. Now I would need to get to 9 counties. I'm on 4. I don't think it would take that long in order to be able to perhaps take 1 or 2 from here, take 1 or 2 from here, try to form the second duchy, Chola. Unless this guy, has he got that? Yes, he actually is. I'd have to usurp it. I think I probably need 2 duchy titles before I could form the kingdom. But this guy, how powerful is he? Actually, I'm not looking at this guy. Yeah, much more powerful. So I need to be systematically growing that kingdom, making it stronger and stronger all the time. I think there's a special building possibility over here, which might be interesting to kind of look into. The second ruler that I'd like to look at is the guy over here. Now this guy already has a kingdom title. He's the king of Lanka, as it's called in those days, Sri Lanka, and he's obviously not incredibly powerful, really. I mean, he's got 400 pikes and he has got 500 levies. I mean, we're actually very close to, or more, or stronger than him already. If there was we can already declare war if we can get to exalted among men. Okay, that's quite difficult, isn't it? Okay. But that would be the ultimate thing, would be to fight a subjugation war against this guy. So I think using the wars to capture the kingdom of Tamilakam, gaining the prestige from that, and using that to make sure we're in a position to take over this kingdom would put us in really, really. We can do it all in one go, a great big subjugation war. I think that's the way forward. There are actually 6 kingdoms all together in this empire. So it's quite a big deal to kind of like form that empire. But I think that longer term, that's the way to go. It means fighting against this guy Rashtrakuta, whoever he is. I mean, he looks quite elderly, and he has. So we'd have to look kind of at his succession, see if that kingdom is going to sort of like break up somewhat. And it might do. We'd have to look quite carefully at that. And of course, that's going to be different each time. It's like a re-roll. So we definitely want to be keeping an eye on this, hoping that it splinters up so we can start to take it over. Just have a look at our culture here. So, yeah, so we're Tamil. And all of these areas are Tamil. And indeed a little bit of Sri Lanka. So I think the thing is, I'm Tamil and my people are Tamil, and the areas that I'm immediately planning to conquer. So we've got a little bit of kind of homogeneity there. We're seafarers, which means we're great with the trade port line of buildings. It unlocks the ability to sail in major rivers, but we're not able to do raiding. So that's relatively unuseful. It might be useful in a war at some point. But the trade port line of buildings are very, very powerful. As we're feudal, we can start building them quite early on. So I think that's good news to be having that. So the royal armouries and the blacksmiths, and these I think are duchy buildings, aren't they? So they're very, very expensive to buy, but at some point, they're going to give us some big bonuses. So metalworkers, might be useful. So city holdings are going to give more taxes, development and levies. But lowers control gain. That's not a big problem, because once you get to 100, you're kind of likely to stay at 100 unless something happens. The idea of your city holdings being more valuable is really, really helpful. In actual fact, I think that some of these places already got. We've already got a city here with a guild hall in it, and we've got a temple holding. A lot of these places already have buildings and additional holdings. In terms of innovations, this will re-roll each time, so it can be different, but we do have elephantry and the bamboo bow. Wootz steel. Okay, a little bit of a bonus to heavy infantry. Elephants are so expensive, but they are so powerful. I can't think of any reason why I wouldn't want to be building those into my army, but it won't be, like some of the other playthroughs where I've had a very uniform kind of army, all of the same types, the most powerful types. I mean, it might be tempting with elephantry to do something like that, but I think with war elephants, what I want is perhaps one regiment of them, and have perhaps a more balanced force, especially as I've got some bonuses to heavy infantry, and the bows, the pikes. So it's worth thinking about a more balanced approach, I think. Got lots of the tribal era innovations. Obviously, we can be working on others. It might be nice later on to consider forming a hybrid culture with the main culture, the Sinhali Tamil culture in Sri Lanka. But we're not going to be gaining a lot of innovations from that. So I'm not sure how valuable that would be, to be honest. I think what I want, actually, one benefit of this relatively small Tamil culture, I probably want it to dominate my main kingdom, Tamilakam. Okay, so I think I will probably spread the culture into the whole of that kingdom, but I don't think any further. And the reason for that is, if you look at the development is very, very high in this sort of Tamil area. And that allows me to get innovations much more quickly. If I start spreading the the culture to less well-developed areas, like up here, then that's actually going to slow down my development of innovations. So I think I'm going to keep it quite a small culture based around that my main kingdom. Okay. Looking at religions, the picture is a little bit more complex. So for a start, my religion is Shaivite, but the dominant culture in the area is Shrikula. So I need to be thinking about, what do I want the religion to be in my kingdom, and deciding on that and starting to working towards making that religion more firmly established. So for example, let's just have a look at my religion. We got monasticism, reincarnation, you see, puja is in both of those religions. Massively interesting? I'm not sure. Inner journey. I think that's useful to be able to get away from stress. Reincarnation is a feature of both. I have to say that both religions seem not massively dissimilar, and that's something to kind of bear in mind. Right, I do have this possible decision available. Take stewardship of the sacred river. Be nice to do this. You completely control this huge area of the Ganges plain. I have to move my realm capital there. Okay, so let's just have a little look at the actual land. Let's start with sort of terrain. And this is why I've picked this area. This area around here is farmland, and there's loads of it. And I own a load of it. There's only this little bit here that somebody else owns, and we're going to be changing that. So this is an area, one of the best areas in the game for developing a feudal society, building tall. And I'm going to be wanting a kingdom like this. I'm going to want to be building tall, and most of that investment is going to be in these areas. And this is my current capital. Just having a look at that. We've got the option to build farms and fields. Obviously, we need more money, but we can do that. Manor houses. These are very, very valuable. Where we have places like this. Are any of these not coastal? This one's coastal. He can build trade ports. Very, very valuable. And we're already quite highly developed. 25 all around here. Those kinds of numbers. This is a place where we're going to be digging deep. We're going to be building buildings. We're going to be going for development, and we're going to become a massive kind of powerhouse. If I just go back to terrain for a moment, and I don't think that we need to be massively concerned about defence. We're going to have a very, very powerful army. We're going to be going to war infrequently because we're feudal, because it takes time in order to prepare for war. So we're generally speaking going to have a strong army ready to defend ourselves. I think we're going to be absolutely fine in that sort of area. So if we could just have a quick look at this title. So the king, the title of here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 duchies in total. Panduraj is the one that I kind of dominate. In fact, I am the duke there. 3 counties there. One of them in particular, very, very valuable. This one here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holdings potentially by the time we've built them up completely. The other county that I'm going to want to... So Panduraj, that's my one. And Chloe Raj, that's the other duchy I'm going to want. So I'm going to want that one as well, because that will give me all of the farmlands. That's going to be that kind of central powerhouse. Once I'm an emperor, I give Sri Lanka to my heir. And that could be like keep it in the family in that way. Your primary heir has that title. when they become the king, they get all of it and they can give it to their primary heir. And these others, I think, just less important. Just give those to minor vassals. Ideally, picking people who are not particularly ambitious, they're not particularly criminally minded, and then you've got a nice, stable kind of kingdom. This, when we've got it, we're going to be incorporating into the empire, as I say, by giving it to our primary heir, and then there are the other kingdoms, which we'd think about perhaps further on. Finally, goals. Now, it seems to me that this is an interesting one, but it's a very difficult one. Take stewardship of the sacred river. So first up, we definitely got, as a goal, we definitely got to form the kingdom and then to form the empire and use the power of that empire to take stewardship of the sacred river. We need to control the whole region of the Ganges plain, which is up here. There it is, right, there it is. So it's an enormous area, and it spreads across at least 2 empires, making a very, very difficult one to achieve. But these are some of the richest lands in the game. The Ganges terrain here, and what I think I'd be doing, although this is my starting point and this is my initial power base, I'd have to be moving my capital to one of these 2 centres, these two farmlands here, and using that to power on into the kind of mid to late game. Not massive benefits from taking stewardship of the river. I think you get a nickname, Lord of the Ganges. Your devotion goes up, and you get steward. This is interesting. Steward of the sacred river. I'm kind of guessing that you pass that on to your kids. Gives you a lot of piety. So perhaps late game, really explore some of the kind of religion aspects of the game. I do create little plans of the kind of the title structure of these kingdoms, and I put them on my Patreon. You're very, very welcome to become a patron. It's only £1. I'd be very grateful if you did that, £1 a month. And you'd be able to download those. They're nothing special. You could easily make them up yourself, to be fair. But I do find it useful to make notes about who's in charge of what area, what's happening there, what's the development that's going on, and having that on a piece of paper where I can kind of rub things out, cross things out, and change them as the game progresses. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to be beginning this playthrough. It's going to be quite a short video, probably about 20-25 minutes or so, and we're going to start taking 1 or 2 of these counties, and we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.